When you truly begin to understand that the power of your life rests not in the things that happen to you, but in how you respond to them, you will see that your greatest strength lies in choice, not in impulse. Most people live their days allowing urges, emotions, and temporary desires to dictate what they do next. They allow the heat of the moment, the craving of the body, or the pull of the environment to decide the course of their lives. And because of this, they fall into the same loops of behavior, circling back to regret, frustration, and a sense of being stuck. But when you step back and realize that you are not a slave to your impulses, you can begin to take deliberate control of your direction. Every second that passes gives you the opportunity to choose differently, to act consciously rather than unconsciously, to claim your authority instead of handing it over to a fleeting feeling that will fade anyway. Think for a moment about how many times in your own life you have said or done something out of impulse. Maybe it was reacting in anger. Maybe it was chasing pleasure in the moment. Maybe it was agreeing to something just because it felt easier than saying no. And afterward, you knew you didn't truly want that outcome. That's the trap of impulse. It offers you a false sense of satisfaction that never lasts. Choice, on the other hand, offers you fulfillment because it comes from alignment with your deeper purpose and your higher self. The difference between a person who drifts through life and a person who steers their destiny is this: one lives by impulse, the other lives by choice. When you understand this, you begin to see that every action is a fork in the road. You can either hand over your power to the temporary emotions that flare up within you, or you can stand still, observe them, and decide with clarity. For example, when a negative thought enters your mind telling you that you are not good enough, you have two choices. You can accept it, feed it, and let it shape your behavior, or you can pause. Step back and choose to reject it. In that moment of pause, you reclaim your authority. That pause is where your freedom lies. Most people don't take it. They rush straight into the emotion and let it sweep them away. But if you train yourself to stop and choose, your life will never be the same. Choice over impulse is also about recognizing the difference between reaction and response. Reaction is immediate, uncontrolled, driven by emotion. Response is deliberate, intentional, guided by awareness. Picture someone who criticizes you harshly. If you react, you might lash back in anger, escalating the situation and planting seeds of bitterness. But if you pause and choose to respond calmly, you not only maintain your dignity, but also shift the entire energy of the interaction. The criticism doesn't disappear, but your control over how it affects you becomes unshakable. This is the mastery that begins when you elevate choice over impulse. It is not always easy, because impulses are powerful. They come from years of conditioning, from habits wired into your nervous system, from emotions that demand immediate release. But remember this: an impulse only lasts a few seconds. If you can resist it in that small window of time, it loses its power over you. Most people give in during those few seconds because they have not trained their mind to see beyond the urge. But if you can hold steady, if you can ride the wave without letting it drown you, you will find that your capacity for conscious choice grows stronger with every attempt. Think about your destiny. Your destiny is not written in stone, nor is it a path that someone else has set for you. It is built moment by moment, choice by choice, decision by decision. Every time you let an impulse guide you, you move further from your true path. Every time you choose with awareness, you align closer with your vision. This means that the life you desire, the success, the peace, the freedom, the fulfillment does not come from waiting for the right opportunity or luck to arrive. It comes from mastering yourself in the moments when you are tempted to hand over your power. Choice is what transforms weakness into strength, chaos into order, confusion into clarity. It is the invisible bridge between who you are and who you want to become. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to never feel impulses, but you do need to learn how to rise above them. The truth is, You are far greater than any urge or emotion that tries to control you. You are the thinker behind the thought, the observer behind the feeling, and when you step into that position of awareness, you realize you can decide differently. That realization alone can liberate you from cycles you thought you would never break. Would you like me to now expand key point 2 in the same deep, flowing Bob Proctor style around 650 words as well, so you can start building the whole long-form speech step by step? Saying yes may feel like the polite thing to do, the easy thing to do, or even the safe thing to do, but when you live your life saying yes to everything and everyone, you quietly hand over the steering wheel of your destiny. Most people have been conditioned from childhood to associate the word yes with goodness, approval, and belonging. They are taught to comply, to accept, to agree, because saying yes pleases others and avoids conflict. And yet, beneath that surface, every unnecessary yes is a silent betrayal of the self. Every time you say yes to what drains you, to what distracts you, to what diminishes you, you are saying no to the life you were truly meant to create. This is why the power of no is not rejection, but protection. It is the act of choosing yourself, your growth, your purpose, your alignment, over the fleeting satisfaction of pleasing someone else. The word no is not harsh, it is not cruel, and it is not selfish. No is a sacred boundary, a declaration that your time, your energy, and your attention are too valuable to be squandered on things that do not serve your higher path. Think about how many commitments you have accepted simply because you were afraid of disappointing someone. You said yes to an invitation when you wanted rest. You said yes to a favor when you were already overwhelmed. You said yes to a relationship, a job, a habit that you knew in your heart was not aligned, but you went along because saying no felt uncomfortable. And then later, you carried the weight of resentment, frustration, or exhaustion. That is the hidden cost of unnecessary yes. The price you pay is always greater than the momentary discomfort of saying no. The truth is that no is a form of self-respect. Every no you speak carves out space in your life for a higher yes. A yes that actually elevates you, nourishes you, and brings you closer to your vision. But when you fill your days with shallow yeses, there is no room left for the meaningful opportunities. Imagine your life as a vessel. If you constantly pour in sand, there will never be space for the diamonds. Saying yes to everything is filling your vessel with sand. Saying no is what clears it, so that when a diamond appears, you are ready to receive it. There is a fear that comes with saying no, because many believe that it will cause rejection, conflict, or loss. But the reality is that those who truly value you, those who truly respect you, will honor your no just as much as they honor your yes. And if someone cannot accept your no, what they wanted from you was not love, not respect, not mutual growth, they wanted compliance. Do not sacrifice your destiny for the comfort of another person's expectations. Your yes has power only when it is rare, only when it is chosen with care. If your yes is automatic, it becomes meaningless. You must understand that every no is also a yes. When you say no to distraction, you say yes to focus. When you say no to negativity, you say yes to peace. When you say no to unhealthy habits, you say yes to strength. The word no is not closing a door. It is opening the right one. It is your way of aligning the outer world with your inner truth. Without no, your life becomes scattered, drained, and pulled in 1,000 directions. With no, your life becomes directed, intentional, and filled with clarity. Most people live in fear of missing out, so they say yes to everything, hoping to keep every option open. But in doing so, they miss the one thing that matters most: direction. A person who cannot say no is like a river without banks. It spills everywhere but goes nowhere. No gives you form. No gives you structure. No channels your energy so that your yes can carry real force. That is why some of the most successful and fulfilled people are not those who did the most things, but those who knew what not to do. They mastered the art of refusal. They understood that their time and energy are not infinite, and so they spent them wisely. If you look at your own life, you will see moments when saying yes took you further away from yourself. You may have entered relationships that drained you, jobs that suffocated you, commitments that distracted you, all because you wanted to avoid discomfort. But discomfort is temporary, while misalignment is long-lasting. The courage to say no in a moment of pressure can save you years of regret. The discipline to decline what is not right for you is the foundation of a destiny that truly reflects who you are meant to be. Would you like me to continue with key point 3 in the same extended style, 650 words, flowing motivationally, so we build the full series step by step? Negative feelings are often seen as enemies, as heavy clouds that block the sun of our lives, as forces that drag us backward and keep us from becoming who we want to be. Most people try to escape them, suppress them, or deny that they exist. They bury their sadness under distractions, they hide their anger behind forced smiles, they drown their frustration in temporary pleasures. But negative emotions were never designed to destroy you. They were designed to guide you. They are signals, messages from within, pointing you towards something that needs attention, something that needs to be transformed. When you understand this, you stop fighting against your feelings and begin to work with them. Instead of being a prisoner of negativity, you become an alchemist, someone who can take pain and turn it into power. Consider anger. Most people lash out in anger or try to stuff it down, pretending it is not there. But anger is only a signal, a light on the dashboard telling you that something is out of alignment, that a boundary has been crossed or a value has been ignored. If you pause and listen to it, anger can give you clarity about what matters to you. It can show you where you need to take a stand, where you need to make a change, where you need to strengthen your boundaries. If you let it consume you, it burns everything in its path. But if you channel it consciously, it becomes fuel for transformation, driving you to act with purpose and conviction. Think about sadness. It feels heavy, it feels like a weight pressing on your chest, but sadness too carries wisdom. Sadness often shows us what we care about, what we value, what we long for. It reminds us of love, of connection, of meaning. It teaches us empathy because when you have walked through your own sadness, you gain the ability to recognize it in others and to connect with them on a deeper level. Sadness can also push you to realign your life, to let go of what no longer serves you, to open space for new beginnings. Without sadness, joy would lose its contrast, and growth would lose its depth. Even fear, which many consider their greatest enemy, is not meant to paralyze you. Fear is simply energy, and like all energy, it can be redirected. Fear shows you where you are stretching beyond your comfort zone. It reveals the areas of life where growth is waiting for you. Most people run from fear, and in doing so, they run from their own potential. But if you recognize that fear is simply a signal that you are entering new territory, you can learn to use it as a compass. Where there is fear, there is often opportunity. Where there is fear, there is room for expansion. Negative feelings are only destructive when they control you unconsciously. The moment you step back and observe them, you take back your power. Imagine a storm passing overhead. If you stand in the middle of it, you will be battered by wind and rain. But if you climb high enough to look down from above, you will see the storm for what it is: temporary, moving, unable to last forever. Your negative emotions are the same. They pass through you like weather, and if you let them move without clinging to them or resisting them, they lose their grip. The real challenge is that society has taught people to label emotions as good or bad, positive or negative, acceptable or shameful. This conditioning creates resistance, You feel guilt for being angry, shame for being afraid, weakness for being sad. But emotions are not moral, they are messages. Judging them does not dissolve them, it strengthens them. The key is acceptance, not suppression. When you accept what you feel, you bring it into the light, and once it is in the light, it can transform. Suppression only traps it deeper, where it festers and grows. Transformation happens the moment you choose to see your feelings differently. Instead of saying, "I am angry," you can say, "I am experiencing anger, and it is showing me something." Instead of saying, "I am afraid," you can say, "Fear is visiting me, and it is guiding me to a place where I can grow." This shift in language separates you from the emotion and puts you back in control. You are not the emotion, you are the observer of it, and the observer has the power to choose what to do next. The greatest challenge most people face in life is not the lack of opportunity, not the absence of resources, not even the circumstances around them, but the inability to control the desires that pull them in every direction. The mind was designed to be the master, the guiding compass, the leader that sets the course of your destiny. Yet for many, the mind has been pushed aside, and desire has taken the throne. Desire itself is not evil. It is natural, it is energy, it is the spark that can move us forward. But when desire becomes the master rather than the servant, it chains you to temporary pleasures while keeping you from lasting fulfillment. Desires are immediate, loud, and demanding. They whisper in your ear to take the easy way, to choose comfort over growth, to seek pleasure over purpose. They do not think about the future, they do not care about the consequences, they only scream for attention in the moment. And when you give in repeatedly, you weaken the muscle of discipline, you silence the voice of reason, and you begin to live as a servant to your impulses. The tragedy is not in feeling desire, the tragedy is in forgetting that you are greater than it. When you bring your mind back to its rightful position as the leader, everything begins to shift. The mind has the power to analyze, to reflect, to weigh choices against the vision of where you want to go. The mind can delay gratification, can say no to what feels good now in order to build something far greater later. Think of every person who has created something meaningful, an athlete, an artist, an entrepreneur, a leader. They all mastered this principle. They felt the same desires as everyone else, the pull to rest when training was hard, the temptation to give up when obstacles appeared, the lure of distraction when focus was required. But they chose to let the mind lead and the desire follow. Consider the simple act of choosing discipline over indulgence. You wake up in the morning and your body desires more sleep, comfort, and rest. The mind, however, knows the value of rising early, of seizing the day, of taking the first steps toward your goals. In that moment, you face a battle between the immediate desire and the long-term vision. If you let desire win, you get comfort for a moment but regret for a lifetime. If you let the mind lead, you experience discomfort for a moment but empowerment for a lifetime. That is the difference between living by impulse and living by intention. The most dangerous illusion is the belief that you can indulge in every desire and still reach your destiny. Every yes to desire that takes you off course is a seed planted in the soil of regret. It may not show immediately, but over time, those seeds grow into a forest that blocks your path. The person who learns to harness desire, to channel it rather than be controlled by it, is the one who clears the way for success. Think of desire like a fire. Left unchecked, fire can burn down everything in its path. But when you control it, direct it, and use it wisely, that same fire cooks your food, warms your home, and fuels your progress. The mind is the one that builds the fireplace, sets the boundaries, and ensures the fire serves you rather than destroys you. Your thoughts are the foundation, your choices the walls, and your discipline the structure that keeps the fire contained. Without that structure, desire consumes. With it, desire empowers. Every moment of your life presents you with a choice. Lead with mind or follow desire. When you lead with mind, you create a vision so clear that desire becomes a tool rather than a tyrant. You use the energy of desire to push forward, but it is your clarity of thought, your deliberate decision, that directs the energy towards something meaningful. When the mind is in charge, you no longer chase every craving. You channel your cravings into productivity, creativity, and purposeful living. There is an immense sense of freedom that comes when you realize you do not have to obey every desire that arises within you. The thought comes, the urge arises, but you can step back, observe it, and decide whether it serves you. That moment of separation where you see the desire as an object rather than your identity is the moment you reclaim your power. You are not the craving, you are not the impulse, you are the one who chooses what to do with it. And when you realize that, nothing can control you unless you allow it.